I think my whole life has been a tremendous inspiration. It was because of that adversity that we are what we are today. And if I had to relive my life all over again, if in order that my own children and my children's children wouldn't go through what I've gone through, if I had to go through the same thing, I would do it all over again.
This was a letter written by Winnie Mandela to Norah, that's me, 17 November 1979. Our dearest friends, at the completion of my third year in exile, I have reflected about those who have made it possible for me to pull through this difficult time. So without you, I could have failed, because I knew that now I had a pillar on which I could lean, pillars which gave me the necessary miracle and the strength to maintain one's dignity. This is just a note to thank you for making it possible for me to know that I belong. Igama lami ke nguNomafa Norah Moahloli. Ngo-1977 thina were not told about ngalo Winnie. Ukufika kwakhe ke eBrandfort nathi andithi kwafika nje big truck bamdampa nje, uyabona. So ke uliyana ngale mzuzu ifika, everybody was curious. Kapha bethula bani? So sacinga ke uqesha bathula amapolisa kuba ngamapolisa ayamba ngetruck, and uyathetha muslomuntu esiXhosa. Hamba naba intombi yakhe ikhona le uzinziswa. Ngenani uthethela phezulu, andithi umthetho wakhe. Fakana phasi izinto kodwa engekho bright ne ubona ba akwazeki ba kwenzeka ntona.
She can't do much except go to the phone, which is the only form of communication with the outside world. She can't leave Brandfort, and that house is so dusty. The living conditions there are really terrible that we spend most of the time cleaning and disinfecting that house.
Winnie Mandela's current banning order runs out at the end of 1981, but that doesn't mean much because the Minister of Justice can renew the ban as often as he chooses.
Winnie was placed 802. Mna ke bendihlala back opposite yakhe 806 kwakwam. Xa ndiya emsebenzini esikolweni ndifuna ndigqithe apha, andinandlela yimbi, funa igqithe apha kwaWinnie. So abelungu bona nabazali abasebenzi abancedisa abelungu as domestic servants babesazi bathi babalayiba ni kunomfazi olapha eBrandfort, ningake nilinge nisondele kuye, ningambulisi, ningamthethisi, likomonisi, ni ubangaba nifuna ukusebenza. Now uwina kukuba ungangamthethisi umuntu omnyama, ubugqitha pha uzakukhwasa and uyakubulisa, ubulisa kuqala. Sakubona nkosikazi. Le ndlu isenyula built ntoni yayingekho, kwakuzezinto ezinje zonke ne nami kwami kuphaya. Ipompo ebisetyenziswa ngumama, amanzi alithi sidibanyela 5 boku 1 2 3 4 5 ngami ne sisebenzisa itap eyi1 ilapha state egate kwami. Umama uzomapha ne uphethe imbiza, angayime apha kule ndawo ephethe imbiza. Mna ke sendisazi uba ufuna amanzi. Now bantwana ke benza izinto phambi kwakhe babaleke bahambe, bazobaleka bagqithe. Ndizawucela uthumunyana wekesi, ndicela uthetha nasi eAmerica kumama okanye uthathe iAmerica umkhelela amanzi then uwagalele embizeni mntana njengoba emephandle ezeke ezikunyana njengoba siza nje. La ntatyana iseBason Kop, uyabona. So ke phaya iserene andithi ilila ngo9 o'clock abantu bahlenge estrateni phaya phezulu. UPrince lo nabangane lecolleagues zakhe bahleli pha daily bafika early begade everything. Andithi bayafish cake lapha entabeni. Umuntu ongena apha bayambona. So ke bayifensa ityadi kamama. Not only ityadi yena, saba nalo lakhe kube sonke apha safumana ifensi yamahala because of mama. Usuka apha eqadi kwenzela uba bazombona umuntu ongena apha because we're not supposed allowed to get in and in. Ndandiziva uba andinamsebenzi nabo ngoba andenzanga nakho nto endiyenzileyo. Qha nendimbona andithi njengoba wakengena the rural kitchen utensils njenganje ukuba ngaba ufuna mhlawumbe uboleka iketile ubeka eprimary stove ndizothatha iketile if my son ngokusenza standard 5 6 iprimary level akekho mina ambona kumamani nazinto so ke nami ndinceda umuntu osenhlungwini eyinkosikazi.
I get really emotional when I think about Mama Winnie because I think that woman was really taken for granted. I think she wasn't appreciated enough. I think Mama was a remarkable woman, a remarkable leader, that had so many odds against her, particularly in the space that she was in. And we experienced that as well, But I mean, at that time, she was literally, there were other women leaders, but she was the woman leader of the time and was a threat, to be honest, to the patriarchs who were trying to drive the apartheid. She was resilient and she was powerful, she was fearless, and she spoke out.
The president of White House, go upper local. Remember the matters mañanos. Now, also say ngo oba curious I make it in Coscas. Kaume umsusan. Nenzantoni apha la makhosikazi ngale organization. No, we are visiting the sick. Sibancede nabantu abadala siyabaklinela. Sibamba meetings once ngenyanga. I mean ngeveki. Athi ungandivumela ndikwazise kwi-friends zami. I-friends zami singancedisana wasebenzisana nami. Ndithi ke mna khawume ndizobuza andithi kaloku likomunisile. Ngoko sabe ngokuyaphusuka ngokutsijati lamakhonzo ngaloo ndlela. Sabambana ke. Well, after 2 days afika itruck enkulu ke ngoku indiphathela umgubo ngababangani bakhe bekethe uzandi introduce akuhlobo bakhe amabisi abantwana yawu into uzawuqonda nako ababangani bakhe basipha iyard i-roll ezimnyama imaterial emnyama ne sizothunga ne-harri zokuthunga basipha imachine zokuthunga right hayi saqhubeka ngosathunga hey kwi-region ngoku siyawina ihlale i-Brandfort rural township imisebenzi yabo emkhulu. This is the orphanage of which now it was established through those of Winnie's efforts in Brandfort. Umama ke wenza inzame. We were sponsored by Lotto. Nge 5.1 million. And that's what ikhona into enzekile ngokwapha yabona so emotional. Bayivandalize neza zindlu. The second best and standardized clinic le. Ibinhle ine toilet na yonke into. Yeah, zi-hooligans zizenzele. Andithi yabona khona bathutha bazulu khona into abayenzayo. Yewubona isiqiniso bazithutha. Nezijojo bezikhona apho yabona bazikho. Bayaqhubeka le Far Rock clinic some of the friends zakhe beze ukuza nje just bazojika babone uba wenze into the remains sisahawini. Everything in Brandfort, as I said earlier on, it was just there was that change, and the children, if any child is passing through Winnie's house, being dirty or uncombed, Winnie would just follow us after school, say, you must come here after school. Winnie would follow that child to her home, to go and speak with the mother, and then say, Mama, you must get to my house. So the children were so nice, even the appearance of those children were so nice. Yeah. Progress, they were progressing very well. Because if they're having no books, no what, I got the children, they know that my mother is not working and so on, but Winnie would buy books, everything that is needed.
That is a song that radical black feminists sing when it seems like in Yobana, no, we get strength just by singing about her name. We also have a problem of just being all about words in this country. Oh, she multiplied. Oh, Mama Winnie this, all that. But really, how are we literally multiplying? How is that multiplying becoming impactful in changing society in the sense of the things that Mama Winnie stood for? And that's what we need to do. We need to continue raising the flag of Mama Winnie. Her name must never be erased. Like, I refuse for that woman's name to not be in the history books. If it wasn't in the books of apartheid, we must put it in our books that our children and grandchildren will read about her name. It's about time we start, not being enablers of the erasure of women who fought, and who really contributed to where we are today. And she's one of those women that we must never make sure that Ikama Like is not erased. And we must build in her name, write in her name, tell stories in her name, create plays in her name, go out and advocate in her name, and many other women that she also stood with. And I believe that that's how Mama Winnie will multiply, because when we are also gone, other kids will see plays and see writings and whatnot of her and continue to multiply in her spirit.
False truths cross an uncrossable boundary in the realm of paradox. A lie is a lie, and a truth is a truth. Irrefutable existence, and yet they refute that the land of the Sutu, tribe led by an unshadowed widow, flattened by the all-knowing trespasser, using God's name in vain, using so-called false truths of a land uninhabited, and the non-existence of a black woman who led, whose noble rule of truth that shamed them down to the exposure of their lives.